Hello and welcome back to the Highland Homestead. So, video at last. Sorry again about the delay. We have been pretty busy and it's been miserable weather. Cold, wet, windy, the whole lot. So we've been getting jobs done inside and getting jobs done in the rain, and obviously camera on the rain you end up with water on the screen, on the lens, and it just doesn't work that well. So we've got a misty day today. There's a little bit of drizzle, but nowhere near as bad as we've had previously. The ground is sopping wet. You can hear the water underneath it in places running along. So what I thought we'd do today is we just update it. Well, we'll show you the thing we've been working on. So as you were, Pie had her piglets, Truffle didn't have any, and we have middle white piglets. Pie's piglets are now sold and gone. They've gone to a lovely home who we're very happy they went to. But as a result, Pie and Truffle were put back into their old pen. Now the reason behind that was because we knew we were going to be building them a new pen, and that is what we've been starting on. So Pie and Truffle are now thankfully trained somewhat to electric tape, which is good, but this is going to be a test. We're hoping it will work. But we have built a massive enclosure. So this is an acre, and this is going to have Pie and Truffle and the two middle white piglets in it. But what's going to be done is it's going to be separated into smaller paddocks that are 22 meters by 12 meters. So each pig will have one paddock. That one paddock will last them 3 months, and then they'll move in that way to their next paddock, and basically it will run all the way along. So the aim of it is to do rotational grazing. Now rotational grazing is putting pigs in an area for putting any animal in an area for a small amount of time and moving them through different paddocks so they always have fresh grass. Now ideally you do it more regularly in order to not overgraze the ground. However, with pigs it benefits because we don't mind if they root a bit to get the roots and the nutrients from underground. They'll farrow that, they'll plough the ground pretty much, they'll cultivate it and turn it over, and then what we will do is we will reseed it with a mix designated for pigs. So for the time being it's whatever mix of grass we're on. I think it's just a meadow mix. There's some timothy, some ryegrass, there's a bit of clover in there which is good, but it's not designed for pigs, so it's not the most ideal pig food for them. However, once they've cleared the areas, we will rotate it if it needs it, smooth it all out with a rake, reseed it, let it grow for 3 months, and then in behind 3 months after that, so their pigs will be on their next paddock by the time this has started shooting, there will be poultry put on it, and they will most likely be chickens with some geese. And the aim of them is just to shorten the ground, and not a lot, just take the tops off, just to stop it growing too quickly and ending up going to flower. Because if you watch anything regarding with field management, you want everything grazed when the grass is 2.5 to 3 leaves, ideally, because once it goes into its 4th leaf, the first leaf dies. And that's the problem we've got with this field, is because it was left for so long without grazing. If I turn the camera around, so it looks lovely and green, this field, but if I actually look in amongst this, you can see there's tons of yellow in it, and that is all the dead leaves. And with a bit of pulling, you can see I pull out a bit of thatch. Now that is where it's not actually so that is where it's not been grazed enough, so it's ended up going to its 4th, 5th, 6th leaf, flowering and everything like that, and the first 1, 2, 3 leaves have died, resulting in thatch. So we've got horses grazing this, but 2 horses are not going to deal with a 8 acre field. We've got sheep from the neighbours coming over, but they come over when they're ready. And yes, they do a big hit and they cut it down massively, but unfortunately it's not enough time. So we had an acre marked out for the pigs to go through, and they will clear that acre, and every year, every 3 months, we'll have a new paddock to reseed for them, let it grow, and then they'll go in. So tape lines up, well, 2 of them, we've got to put 1 more tape line in, but for the time being we're putting them in these 2 top quadrants, so they're fully taped with a bottom line as well. So they're 3 lines, and the bottom 2 lines will be electrified. The top line is just for horses pretty much. And the project today is build a pallet house for them, get the electrics connected, and chuck them in and see what happens. So we'll see you in a second once the pallet house is starting to be lined up. So as you can see, the 2 coons, Pie and Truffle, are now in, well, they're in one of the pens. The reason behind that is we just need to build the second pallet house and tidy up a bit of the fence that we have spare over there. But I mean, you can see the grass difference. We've got a decent amount of grass here, which is great for them as grazing animals. They will get to meet the horses, who, as you can see, are sure to come over to have a visit. But you can see straight to eating the ground. we're going to go ahead and get this second house built so that they can enjoy themselves. Right, see you in a bit. Finally, hello. So, finally, brought some bedding over for them. They've got a small water bowl for today. We have got bigger ones cut. They just need a clean, and they're just to last them for the night. So we were giving them a small one today. As you can see, they have caused a bit of rooting already. However, surprisingly, the pasture is still pretty green on both sides. There's definitely areas where they've definitely gone up and down and dug up a bit. As you can see, Pie's busy making her bed. Truffle looks like she's made hers and is just getting into it. But there'll be a bit of shifting around by them just to make sure it's exactly what they want. The weather for us comes from that side, so as you can see, the back's got some plastic over it to block the holes, and so is the far side in the back corner. But we wanted to give them some ventilation too. If it gets cold, we can put up a temporary board that will just keep them. But all in all, they haven't got out yet through the fence, which is a good sign. They're still in. Even at feed time, they didn't rush the fence, which is great. And hopefully they'll still be here in the morning. Right, that is it for this week's video, I believe though. Thank you very much for watching. Apologies again for the delay in the videos. As I said, the weather has not helped, as you can see, by the clouds and the lack of visibility in the distance. It is again starting to rain. Thankfully not too heavy at the minute, but it does look like it could pick up overnight. But yeah, I shall see you in the next video. I think it's finally going to be getting on with plants for the market garden, so there may be a seed haul or some talk about what seeds we're growing. We haven't started really growing any seeds yet, and yes, we are slightly late. However, we also were anticipating this weather, and as you can see, I can get a nice image here. That is what most of our ground is like at the minute. Big puddles of water, pools of water. So seeds would be underwater right now anyway, so would the young plants, they'd be drowning. So it just wasn't worth it. And yes, we may get a slightly reduced crop, but it's something we've learnt this year, and something we're going to have to plan for next year, to start with, unless it's, although we have been told by the locals that this is unusually wet. But I shall see you in the next video. As I said before, please do like, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on Instagram at the Highland Homesteader for more up-to-date information. And hopefully the next video may have a surprise in store too. But thank you very much, and see you next time.